Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Havana, and if you guys are new here, I do fashion, beauty, lifestyle, whatever I feel like really here on YouTube. And I kind of just wanted to sit down and yap a little bit today, I guess. And I wanted to kind of share with you guys some things that I learned when I was 23. For those of you who don't know, I am a Taurus. My birthday was last month, May 13th. I kind of just wanted to sit down and talk with you guys and tell you guys 23 things that I learned at 23. Before we get started, I want to shout out Amber Scholl, who I got this idea from forever ago. So go check out her video. I'll link it in the description. Go check it out. Let's sit down, let's talk a little bit, and I'm going to tell you guys 23 things that I learned at 23. To start, I just want to say that this is not in any particular order, and you know, if you don't resonate with something now, that's totally okay. If you feel like you need to come back and watch this at a later time, maybe it'll resonate then. Number one is embrace change. Life is full of it. It's okay to not align with something that, oops, sorry, my dogs are barking. It's okay to not align with something that you once did or thought you did, and it's okay to change your mind. You know, if you're not passionate about something one day and suddenly you're passionate about it the next, your mind is allowed, you're allowed to change it. That's what minds are for. We're meant to change our minds. So don't be frustrated with yourself if, you know, something isn't aligning the way you thought it was going to, or if you envisioned a certain path for yourself and it's not quite going to plan. It's okay to accept that change, and it's very necessary sometimes. Embrace it because life is full of it. Number two, rarely ever is anything linear, especially healing. Very briefly, I will tell you guys that I got out of a relationship last year and it shattered me. And for a while, you kind of sometimes get into a point where you fool yourself into thinking you're okay or that you healed from that situation, and sometimes it's just not the case, and that's totally okay to not be over something that you thought you were. I don't want to jump too much into that because there is a point later on that I will get to, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. Rarely ever is anything linear, whether it's a, you know, relationship, a career path, a job, a friendship, healing. There's so many things that don't always go to plan, and that's just life, and it's okay if it's not, you know, it's not like this. One day you might be totally over it, and then you wake up the next and you're like, this still hurts, or see something that triggers you and it's like, damn, that sucks. It's okay if something is not linear. That's part of it. It's normal and it's human. Number three, putting yourself out there will reward you beautifully. I promise. So this one is one of my favorites. I swear by this. And last year was a very do it for the plot kind of year. And I found myself in so many situations and so many rooms with people I never thought I would ever meet. It kind of just taught me, never say never, honestly, as corny and cliche as it sounds. You really never know where you might end up. The more you say yes to life, the more it's gonna happen for you. The more doors that will open, the more people you'll meet, the more connections you'll make. Who knows what room you might end up in. Last year was crazy. Maybe I can do a story time about last year sometime. Number four, you can always start over again and begin again, and you can do it as often as you need to. Sometimes you just need to reset. Sometimes you need to step back and realize maybe this isn't going the way I thought it was going. And like I said, you know, embrace change because that's life. But sometimes you just need to take a step back and reevaluate and pause. That's okay. Do it as many times as you need to. Sorry, oh my god, sorry I'm itching my face so much. My allergies are horrible lately, so I'm really sorry. You can always start over, and you can do it as many times as you need to, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it's taking a step back from a friendship or a relationship, just taking some time to yourself to think, what do I want for myself? What's my course of action? If you feel like you need to start over, if you need to move to a new city, if you need to start a new job, do it. Do it. Start over. as many times as you need to. Number 5, this one's a little goofy, but rarely does anything good happen after 2 a.m. If you guys don't know, or if you don't follow me on TikTok, I did a little story time about this, about the first time I saw people, like, you know, hit the slopes, if you know what I'm saying. The first time I saw people hit the slopes at a after party in LA. I'm from LA, born and raised. I've lived here my whole life, but I was super introverted up until last year. I went to an after party one night and it was probably like 4:30 in the morning. People started hitting the slopes and I was like, all right, it's time to go home. And I was genuinely traumatized from that incident. I'm kind of cool off after parties now. If you guys want to go check that video out, it's on my TikTok. It's okay to leave the function early sometimes. It's okay to just skip it entirely. Make good choices, be smart, just go out with people you trust. If something feels off, just leave. Just leave. It's not worth it. Number 6. Okay, so this is one of my favorites, and this kind of goes back to number 3 a little bit. You really do miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Shoot your shot, apply for that job, send the DM. You never know what possibilities are gonna come from shooting your shot with your celebrity crush, or applying for your dream job, or applying to your dream college. Shoot your shot. Take the shot. You never know what might happen. Number 7, trust your intuition. We have it for a reason. I am the type of person who, for the longest time, I ignored my intuition, and I think it was one of the biggest mistakes I could have possibly made. And so I think one thing I'm still learning, if something doesn't feel right, chances are it's not. I find that, at least in my life, in my path, more often than not, the times that I have ignored my intuition have led me to the worst friendships, the worst relationships, the worst situations. We really do have it for a reason. Trust in yourself. More often than not, there's a valid reason that you feel the way you do. Number 8. If they disappoint you once, odds are it'll happen again. Don't settle on a red flag because, you know, there is potential for it to become a bigger issue later. I personally find that it's going to happen again. This is not everyone, it's not all people. This doesn't apply to every single person on earth. But for me personally, in my experience, when somebody has disappointed me once, they almost always, without fail, do it again. I just am kind of at a point in my life right now where I don't have time for that. I'm prioritizing my happiness above anything else, and anything that doesn't contribute to that or make me feel like rainbows and sunshine and $1 million, I'm not gonna entertain it. There's no room for that in my life anymore. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully somebody resonates with that. Number 9, this is kind of for my singles. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy being young and being able to go out and not have to answer anyone's phone calls or anyone's texts, or sharing your location with somebody or your Twitter password. Just enjoy not having to answer to anyone. Don't extend yourself if you don't have to. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know, I feel like I'm probably gonna say that a lot in this video. Just enjoy your singleness and your freedom and your youth, and being able to dress cute and wear a mini skirt and heels and have a good time. Number 10 is one that I resonate with, and it took me some time to learn this one, but don't lose yourself trying to keep somebody else happy. Pretty straight to the point, I feel. I think that sometimes we as girls tend to jump into a relationship where we're following somebody else's path that we're not meant to follow. We're in a place that we're not meant to be, of following somebody else's path. We're going along that path with them. You need to follow your path. What do you want? What makes you happy? What do you enjoy? What are your hobbies? What are your passions? At the end of the day, this is your life. Follow your trail. Number 11, train yourself and your brain to replace your negative thinking, judgment, rude and unnecessary comments with positive thoughts, affirmations, manifestations. I sometimes struggle with body image. Instead of saying something you hate about yourself or pointing out one of your flaws, point out something you like about yourself, whether it's a physical trait, something emotional. I hate the way my shoulders look in this top, but you know what? I love my nose. Whatever you like about yourself, train your brain to just snap out of it. And that goes for not just you, but talking about other people as well. I just don't really enjoy being around people who talk poorly about other people all the time. It's not only draining to me, but something that I've had to learn as well. It's just not cute, and it doesn't feel good, and it doesn't contribute anything. Criticism is always welcome and valid, I feel. Criticism and judgment are two very different things, so I think. And just be kind. Practice kindness. Number 12, surround yourself with people who make your soul come to life. People who inspire you and uplift you, and people you can depend on and rely on and trust. People who make you feel like rainbows and sunshine and $1,000,000. That's all we should have room for in our lives. Nothing less. The second somebody makes me question where I stand in their life, I'm kind of just over it. I'm ready to leave at that point. I just want to surround myself with people who make me feel good. I'm not saying you should surround yourself with people who are yes men or are just gonna, you know, approve everything you do. I don't think anybody grows having yes men in their circle. You should have friends that hold you accountable and call you out when you do something wrong. There's nobody to tell them, hey, maybe that's not the best idea. Or somebody to tell you really honestly, like, no, those shoes do not go with that outfit. It looks a little goofy. Sometimes you need that. I don't have room in my life anymore for people who make me feel less than, or don't support me, or people I can't rely on. And that's not to say, oh, go ahead and cut everybody off. That is not what I'm saying. 13, improve your vocabulary, because sexy people are articulate. I started doing daily vocabulary. I'll look up a word of the day, I'll write down the figure of speech and then the definition. I'll use it in my own sentence, basically. I like to just kind of go back and look at those and do a little refresh every now and then, and it's kind of fun to just like go back to the middle school, high school days of doing vocab in English class. I kind of enjoy it. 14, sexy people are introspective. Learn how to analyze your feelings and emotions and how to deal with them in a healthy way. I feel like a lot of people act on impulse, and that's not really the kind of person I am. Sometimes I'll have to look at a situation in the heat of the moment, and when I get really worked up or frustrated, I know that I tend to shut down. I'm not one to argue. I don't like arguing. I don't like conflict in general. But if I feel like you're purposely trying to misunderstand me, if you're trying to just get a reaction out of me, I don't entertain that. Sometimes I really just like to take a step back from a situation. I don't think we're having a productive conversation, so I'm gonna fuck off for a little bit, think about what I want to say and how I'm going to move going forward. And some people don't understand that. It really upsets people. And even in like my last relationship, I did that one time in an argument, and that prevents me from flipping out on somebody and saying something that I might regret saying, or something I don't mean, or for it to come off how I don't intend for it to come off. So if you need to take that space from an argument or a disagreement, and this is obviously not just for arguments, but for sadness, depression, anxiety, anything you feel, it's okay to take a step back and to process and question your emotions. Why do I feel this way? Why did I let that person make me feel that way? Number 15, be intentional about your healing. Build the self-discipline to know better and not fall back into old and poor habits. Why keep going back to the same ex that keeps hurting you? Why go back to the same friendships that always end the same way? Why would you purposely go back and hurt yourself again? And honestly, I know I'm probably gonna have to come back and watch this at some point to hear myself say that. If you quit smoking cigarettes, why would you, like one cigarette's not gonna hurt. It is, so stop. Okay, number 16, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Hold my hand. If you feel like they're not interested in you, they probably aren't, and that's okay. If you feel like you're the only one who reaches out, you're the only one who plans things, if you only talk to said person on the phone, they're probably not interested. It gets to a point where it just looks and feels a little pathetic. You should totally try. That's not to say you shouldn't try with somebody that you're interested in or seeing or dating. If it gets to that point where they hit you with the, yeah, I've just been so busy with work and it's just one thing after another, and it's like, okay, all right, like you're giving me the runaround and I just don't appreciate that. I'm not looking to make anyone's life easier. I'm not looking to be your after work de-stress. If you feel like they're not interested, I'm sorry, but they probably aren't. There are a million other people who would line up to give you their attention. Number 17, this one's one of my favorites and arguably one of the most important on this list. Don't let anybody dim your light, whether it's your friends or your partner or your parents, your family, your boss, co-workers. Keep people around who celebrate you and uplift you and, you know, support your wins. People who genuinely just want the best for you. Everybody will have their moment. Everybody gets their flowers. Surround yourself with people who will give that to you and people that you will reciprocate that energy with. Sometimes people just like us and we can't, you know, sometimes we can't help that. Some people just hate that. They hate to see it. Those people, we don't have space for them in our lives anymore. Come on, you guys know this. Sometimes we're just naturally alluring and we genuinely can't help that. So never let anybody make you feel like you have to dim your light around them in order for them to shine. We all have our moments and we all deserve our flowers. Number 18, breakups are really hard and it's totally okay to not be over something that you thought you were. Allow yourself to feel and experience those emotions, and yes, it does suck and it's tough and it sometimes feels like your life is over. From there is so much self-discovery to do usually, and it's okay to wake up one day and feel the worst you've ever felt in your entire life. It's okay to not want to get out of bed. You give it time and you do the work and you become intentional about your healing. You break those bad habits. You stop going back to that ex. You know, eventually things are okay again and you feel like yourself again. It's totally okay to not be over something you thought you were, breakups especially. But allow yourself grace and patience and time to process those feelings and those emotions, because it's human and it's natural and it's supposed to happen. Number 19, this is one of my favorites. Pour into yourself. Pick up a new hobby, a passion and interest. Learn a new language. Stick to your exercise routine, your hair care routine, your skincare. Buy a little candle. Buy some flowers for yourself. Your interests are so important for finding out who you are as a person. What sucks the soul out of you. Pause, that sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what drains you. I started gardening recently and I am not the best at it because I just started, but obviously practice makes perfect and my little garden's doing okay right now. I bought a drawing tablet and I've never been artistically inclined at all in my entire life, but I enjoy it and it's peaceful and it helps me like de-stress a little bit. Reading, pottery, I do Pilates almost daily and I'm learning 4 languages right now: Spanish, French, Italian and Arabic. I love it and I enjoy it. So pour into yourself. Number 20, I think, stop letting insecure people into your life. They will dim your light. They'll make you feel like shit constantly. You feel like you can't live your life, like you can't be yourself around insecure people. It's so self-limiting. Simply no place. I have no further elaboration on this. It's just insecure people are not meant to stay. Number 21, I think. I messed up the... I promise there's 23 of these. Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, it's okay to be selfish and put yourself first. Life is hard and we're doing the best we can. I feel like it's really easy to place other things before ourselves, and that's not the way it should be. I think the sooner we realize that it's not selfish to be selfish. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It never is, it never was. And if somebody can't understand why you come before them, we don't have room. That's not my problem. 22, don't be afraid to do things alone. Every year at the beginning of the year, I will make a list of things that I want to achieve, and as I achieve them, I go through and I cross cross it off the list. And one of my goals this year was to take myself on more solo dates. I'm somebody who can I can totally run errands alone. I prefer it because I'm on my own time. I love shopping alone. I love eating alone. Big bag, big bag. And I don't do that nearly enough. It's not as scary as it seems. It's not weird. Nobody is looking at you for being alone. Nobody cares. Nobody cares as much as we think they do. Whether it's taking yourself to a concert, which I went to my first concert alone in April. I saw Destin Conrad, and that was tough because my dog, actually, we had to put her down that day, and it was just a crazy day. I went to see Pink Pantheress alone for my birthday. I ended up running into one of my friends at the show, so I mean, we ended up getting dinner after, so technically I didn't spend the whole day alone, but my intent was to go alone and spend time alone. One thing, okay, I will say one thing for me that's really hard to do alone is working out. I hate going to the gym alone. So once I fall out of my gym routine and I stop going, I get really anxious again to go. And when I go, I sit in the car and I have an anxiety attack all over again. And I'm like, okay, I'm already here. I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna push through it. Because I know once I start working out, nobody cares. We're all here doing the same thing. It's not that serious. Last but not least, 23. There's comfort in knowing that life sometimes won't go the way you planned. Sometimes things just don't work out, and that's life. We have to learn how to deal with rejection in a healthy way, but to also just accept it, you know? Sometimes maybe it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant for you. Sometimes what we want doesn't happen because we were meant for more. Something better was meant to find us. Just know that sometimes when something doesn't work out, maybe it actually did. Hopefully some of this resonated with you, and let me know what's something you learned, what's something you're taking from this video. So that is it from me, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for yapping with me today. See you guys all next time. Mwah.